Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana. You found us on whatever podcast app you're listening to us on, or
YouTube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Hello, little fucking tadpoles.
tadpoles, poison pals,
Yeah.
friends.
Friends.
We are
Oh, I
here.
couldn't do that today.
Long night?
Yeah, I guess so. It's been a long year.
A long life, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. We're going to talk all about everything that's going on in the world of professional wrestling today and this week, and cover everything from Dynamite to Jey Uso leaving to Punk shitting on Hangman for no reason to G1.
G1, we're on the road to Wrestle Kingdom. We're on the road to Wembley.
Oh, what's that? Sorry, I don't know what that is. Is that a show coming up?
Yeah, just a little house show other side of the pond.
Yeah, house show for sure, definitely. Biggest house show ever. We're gonna chat about it on the road to the biggest wrestling event ever. So lots of stuff to talk about. So wherever you are, thanks for spending your time with us.
Yeah, hello everyone. How are you all doing?
How are you?
I'm pretty good. Yeah, I'm quite tired. It's been a hell of a weekend. Busy working at the bar. And then I worked my friend's baby shower yesterday, so which is pretty cool. I've never seen a baby shower like this. So I was bartending her event and
Bartending at a
baby shower. Not only was I bartending at a baby shower, but on the bar we had a little weed station as well.
She's already parent of the year.
There
for
were
sure.
joints, there were gummies, and it was quite funny to see because they're like the multi-packs of gummies.
Well, there's no babies there.
No, there were a couple, but like, but people would come up and grab the entire pack. I'm like, no, it's supposed to like take one piece, but so I did that and then went straight to work after, where it was karaoke night, which is always kind of wild. Sang a bit of Oasis. I was getting in the mood to go back home.
Nice. Feeling British.
What's the story? Morning Glory.
Right.
That's why my throat might be a little sore right now. But yeah, final Saturday night before we're heading.
Yeah, it's this Wednesday night actually that we get on the plane to go over to your home country. So yeah, this is our last Poisonrana for a little while. We would say everyone should go follow us on our socials and stuff, because we're gonna be doing lots of posts of stuff that we visit, that we see, and something a bit different for all patrons over at Poisonrana Patreon over there. We're gonna be posting little things, something a bit different, a bit new.
We're gonna try our best to kind of like, obviously I'm visiting family. We've got a lot of stuff like planned, but we want to try and keep you guys updated. So we will be putting stuff on the Patreon and perhaps releasing a couple of our like archived shows on this feed to kind of give you little tasters while we're away of what you're missing out on the Patreon. So don't worry, there'll still be content coming. B Detroit and Sino are gonna have us covered on Up Next for the next couple of weeks.
What up, Doe next?
What up, Doe next?
Wait, no.
What up next?
What up next?
What up next, Doe? One of them. So yeah, they'll be doing that. Sino will obviously be having Shot in the Dark still coming out on this feed. So plenty of podcasts whilst we're still away. And if you are a patron, don't worry. We've been watching a whole lot of stuff to have ready to release while we're away on our hollybobs.
Yeah, we're still creating some content for our patrons out there because we love you guys so much, and it's not stopping. So we did a review of SummerSlam 1992 from Wembley, so that was pretty cool, and that's already out on the Patreon. We are kind of recording some shows in bulk to release in the next few weeks while we are away, and one of them is James Bond 007 No Time to Die. We finally have finished all of the James Bond, Daniel Craig universe movies in our reviews. They're going to be, all of them are up there on the Patreon already, but No Time to Die will be dropping some point this week. So look for that over there.
I love this review. Like I've always been a fan of the Bond films since right from like a really young age, and I get really passionate about it. And I definitely think this is one of the best films in the entire franchise. So really looking forward to you guys hearing that one next week.
Yeah, so lots of James Bond. Our Bond ratings come back out. So Bond ratings more than one show lately, as it seems. So if you're a Bond fan and like our movie reviews, that's something to check out this week. But next week, we will be looking at the original All In from 2018. That's right, 5 years ago.
Week after.
The week after.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
We're
sorry.
talking about it.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
We'll have it ready like the week of All In.
Yeah.
To get you all prepared.
Exactly. So the podcast won't be stopping, and we're hitting with you some great shows. So go support the boys. It's only $5.
I'm looking forward to revisiting this one. We were there live. I've rewatched a couple of matches since then,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's going to be a lot. Obviously, I remember like big moments on this show, but I feel there's going to be stuff like, wait, sorry, this was on the show
Right,
as
yeah.
well. So really looking forward to talk about that. So get your feedback if you still got time.
And a Patreon thread for the All In feedback. So if anyone else wants to go rewatch it in the next week, someone has it up on YouTube for like 3 years now. It's the whole show is just on YouTube, so
Nice.
you can watch it there for free. I'm sure there's other ways you can find it too, but we will be looking at that.
It's probably on Honor Club, I would think.
Something
right?
like that, possibly, yeah. So we're gonna be looking at that, reviewing the original All In as we gear up for our trip to All In London.
We have been continuing our Was Next journey as they're on the road to Arrival.
That's right.
And it was a pretty interesting show we talked about this week that we just released, January 22nd, 2014, as we're starting to put the pieces together for NXT's first premium live event.
Yeah, the Was Next show that we do, where we look back at Retro NXT, is pretty heating up with this whole like first arrival, the pre-takeover events, really. So can't wait till we review that show with Cesaro and Sami. But we're so far reviewing the NXT episodes leading up to that. So lots and lots of podcasts, and that's like a bonus show, 2 bonus shows a week. It's $5 for a whole month's access, and you can access everything in that back catalog. And I've been getting some messages. I will be setting up the Spotify Patreon link thing.
Amazing.
I have not done it yet,
Yes.
but we work shoot jobs. But I will probably set this up maybe even like by tomorrow.
It's going to be so much easier for everyone if you can just get it straight from your Spotify feed, listening to our Patreon shows.
It might even inspire people to just try that way instead of
Absolutely.
the Patreon website route. But the Patreon website RSS does link to your like app, depending on what phones and services you use. But for someone like me, I do use Spotify, especially as of late. Even for podcasting, I found myself using. So it is pretty cool. So I will be checking that out. And when we do, you'll see us plug about it and post about it.
And we normally plug our socials at the end of the show, but I'm going to plug them right here. X and Instagram, at PoisonRanaPod, at Davie Portman, at The Brady, because there's going to be a lot of fun stuff over the next few weeks. You're going to see Braden have his first ale at a proper pub. None of these Canadian pubs, a proper pub.
A real beer.
A pub that's, older than 100, older than Canada.
Right.
We're going to be doing that. You're going to probably try a proper British curry, proper fish and chips, proper pie, take you to a Weatherspoons, take you to a Greg's.
I'm excited.
We're going to Berlin as well. So, some good German beer. Some schnitzel, maybe.
Yeah, some drugs.
I implore you, give us a follow on the socials, because we're going to have a lot of fun stuff coming out over the next few weeks. If you don't want to put your hands in your pockets for the Patreon, I'm sure you'll get some value from our stories.
Yes, follow us on all the socials for all the stuff that we do in the next little while. And while you're clicking that follow, you can go and look at the very nice menu for All In It. Or are we there yet?
Yes.
Not yet there. I can we have a super chat.
Yeah, let's go to some super chats first.
Hey, shout out Jake from the Windy City, because we have super chats now here on the monetized Poison Rana YouTube page. Jake from the Windy says, hey, hope you guys are having a great time and safe travel, lads. Are you planning on seeing some UK indie shows like Rev Pro, or going to see some PL football as well?
Yeah, we were kind of considering doing the
Rev Pro.
It is on a Saturday night, and our time in London is kind of limited because we are doing some like travel plans and things. We've decided against going because we have seen a lot of wrestling over the last year.
Yeah.
And as much as I think it's going to be a fantastic show, I think there's other stuff we want to do. Having a proper Saturday night in London is kind of high on our list, I think. And just saving ourselves, save ourselves to that big Wembley show. As much as we are going to be negative about it in the next couple of segments. We are excited, and we know AEW always delivers when it comes to these shows.
Yeah.
So I think we're saving it ourselves for that.
It looks awesome, to be honest. It's not priced like an indie show, I'll tell you that as well either.
No, and that's the thing as well. Like the Canadian dollar sucks, so everything we're looking at is about twice the price. So when we're talking about £60 for an indie show, we're looking at $120 to go to this, where we can see a lot of these people in Toronto as well.
Yeah.
So we wish RevPro the best.
It looks awesome.
Copper Box looks like
it's
a fantastic venue. It would be cool to see it's in the old Olympic Park in Stratford and everything. It's going to be great, and I'm sure everyone who's going are going to have a great time. But I think we're going to be doing some probably bar hopping in Soho that day.
Exactly.
And Premier League kind of goes the same way. We were kind of discussing going to a football game. Like I know Arsenal are playing actually that same day as RevPro. But again, it's ticket prices, and I know you're not a massive footy fan.
Yeah.
And as much as I think got the experience of going to like a game, we are going to Wembley Stadium, although we're not seeing football. We're going to be there twice, so like getting the sense of what an England football ground is.
Yeah.
Might try and, if we've got time, go to Richmond to see where Ted Lasso
That's right.
and Roy Kent kick about.
There you go. Real football stars.
But yeah, I don't think we're going to be catching any Premier League.
No, there are some other things though. Thank you, Jake, for the.
Thank you very much, Jay,
for the super chat there. I'm excited to do a lot of other British stuff. I've been prepping myself, listening to the Spice Girls and the Beatles. I'm ready. I'm learning words. I'm excited.
My dad's got a nice pub crawl planned for us
Excellent.
on Saturday.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. And
like the second day we're there, we're going to see The Weeknd at Wembley.
Yes.
So we're going to Wembley twice. So
which is kind of good, because it's going to give us a sense, because I think The Weeknd's kind of sold the same amount of tickets as All In.
Yeah.
So it's going to give us a good sense of how long it will take from like Wembley Park Station to get into the stadium when it's thousands and thousands of people going. So we can give pointers to people coming like from our event or separately to All In, how much time you want to allow yourself to get there.
Absolutely. So follow all the stuff that we'll be leaving on Wednesday. Follow our socials. Our DMs are always open if any recommendations for London or for Berlin or anything on our travels. And if you're, of course, going to these events, including Wembley and All In, because obviously we're going to be there, but obviously you should be going to All In It, the real show that's happening on Sunday, August 27th in London, England. Because, we've mentioned past months now, this show has been sold out from like the get-go. And we're getting a lot of messages and DMs from people who are now making their plans and ways over to All In Wembley that are like, hey, how can I come if it's sold out? So we have a venue that has an upstairs with a capacity of 100 people. We have 100 tickets sold. That is completely sold out. However, a lot of people are like, hey, I still want to come. There is still an opportunity for you to come and hang out and have some drinks downstairs. And we will somehow, some way, haven't figured it out yet, we'll try to, if there is not full capacity upstairs at any moment, try to allow some people to watch the show.
Yeah, so basically, we're doing the event from 12, doors open at 12. I think we're starting the live podcast aspect from 1. And we'll be wrapping up around 4 o'clock to give people enough time to get to Wembley for the 0 hour. As Braden mentioned, we are sold out upstairs, but there is this whole downstairs bar. And if it's hopefully, knock on wood, a nice day, there's outside seating as well. So if you want to come, we'll be mingling downstairs when we're not recording upstairs. You've got a good chance to see us. But also after the event, Trinity have been lovely enough to let us come back, and if you have either a wristband for our All In It event or just a ticket to Wembley that you can show on your phone or whatever, they will let you in for free. It is a holiday weekend, so they normally charge cover at the door. Show your Wembley ticket, you can come in for free. We'll be doing karaoke and stuff upstairs, playing some wrestling music. If you just want to hang, have a chat downstairs, very welcome to do that too. And we've got the license till 3 a.m. So Wembley's curfew is 11. I know people are going to be all spread out around London and thinking about how to get home. You might want to be like, you know what? Fuck it. It's going to be a late night. It's a holiday weekend. We've got the day off tomorrow. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Come back to Wembley, have a few pints with us. And if you weren't able to come hang earlier, you've got plenty of time to hang out with probably a very inebriated Poison Rana and Grapple crew.
Yes, all of us, the Poison Rana lads and the Grapple lads, are now going to be hanging out afterwards as well. So I want to see some Brits and their karaoke skills. I need to know how well the Brits can handle some karaoke. I have a feeling it's pretty well.
And maybe our friend in the chat room, Cameron Starr, because I see he sent a £2 super chat to us. Maybe he'll be there. And it's a super chat just because you're my favorite pod and NXT friend.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you very much, Cameron. But that's not it. We have released the All In It drinks menu.
There's people who are not going to this event because they live in, different countries, but they've been waiting anxiously for the All In It drop of what we're going to be selling.
So this is an interesting one because some of these I know will work.
Yeah.
However, whereas normally when I'm making these drinks, I kind of, make myself a few cocktails cheekily at work and be like, that's really nice. I'll put that on the menu. I've been sent the inventory of all the kind of liquor they've got at Trinity, and a lot of it's very different from what we have over here.
Right.
So I've kind of been going, I think this and this will work. Some I know absolutely will. But then I've gone into ChatGPT and been like, hey, will this cocktail work? And I've done ones deliberately that I know won't work, and it will go, that's disgusting.
Okay.
And then these ones, they've gone, that's going to pair really nicely.
Okay.
So we're trusting AI and just my mixology skills here. But let's reveal them.
The All In It drink menu, bruv.
We start off with the Boom.
Boom.
Gonna be, you can order 2 of these because we're seeing him twice. For £5.85. It's
what the
drink,
fuck is a pence?
Pence P. The drink previously known as the Golden Screwdriver. It's vodka, it's orange, it's Sprite, it's served in a rocks glass. It's a standard. It does the trick.
It's the Boom, baby.
It's the Boom. Then we have the Muscle Buster.
Ooh.
For $5.85. So we've got Courvoisier.
I'm listening.
We're feeling fancy. We've got apple cider. We've got cranberry and soda served in a rocks glass. Pretty boozy, this one.
Yeah, I'm liking that. This one I've been eyeing up the most.
It'll definitely bust your muscles,
yeah.
This one, if you have a few of them.
Exactly. Could put someone down for the count.
Now we're getting a little crazy here with the Orange Punch for £8, 10p. It's Jaffa Cake rum. What?
So I just learned what Jaffa Cake was only a few months ago, and now you're telling me they also make a rum?
Yes. So, Trinity Bar have Jaffa Cake, rum, vodka, and gin.
It's ridiculous.
But this being a punch, it's kind of got to be rum. So it's Jaffa Cake flavored rum. For all you North Americans out there who might not know what a Jaffa Cake is, it's like the cross between I was going to say biscuit, let's say cookie for you people. Cross between a cookie and a cake. It's got a layer of sponge, a layer of orange jam or jelly, and then a layer of chocolate.
It's kind of like Terry's chocolate orange, but as a cookie or biscuit or something.
Mm.
They're really good. I really
yummy.
like them. So the fact that they now have that as a rum flavor mixed with all these other things.
So it's going to be Jaffa Cake rum with Malibu, so a bit of coconut rum in there. Orange juice and cranberry, topped with soda in a tall glass. Should be very punchy.
I know there's gonna be people all of our other events who try all these things, but this one also sounds delicious.
And now I believe there's a drink in Japan called the Storm Zero, right?
Well, there's the Strong Zero.
Strong Zero.
So she changed her finisher to the Storm Zero.
Got you.
Because a lot of Gaijin wrestlers have a move called the Strong Zero.
Strong Zero. Well, we've got the Storm Zero here. It's pink gin, Midori.
What's Midori?
Melon liqueur.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And unbranded energy drink.
The Red Frog.
This is when you're flagging, when it's like, oh man, we've still got a 5-hour event to go.
Yeah.
I better wake up, have something pink and
These-
delicious
after-
and wake me up.
Yeah, after doing SummerSlam, a 4-hour plus show, I know like I'm probably gonna want more caffeine in my system before I get into the
Yes.
stadium, because by the main event I don't want to be like lollygagging. I want to be awake.
So
So gin, Midori, and then an energy drink. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds exactly like how it would with Storm Zero, Strong Zero.
yeah. And then we've got the coffin drop. It's 1 for $4.10 or 2 for £8. I feel like our manager here at Trinity Bar might be a wrestling fan, because he went, wait, sorry, coffin drop. You know, there's a tag team coffin match coming on, so we need to do a deal for two. So
That's right. There's a fucking coffin match.
yeah, so you can get a tag team coffin drop for £8.
And if you don't have a partner, do them yourself.
Yeah. It's half Kraken rum, half cherry sours, dropped in an energy drink, and hopefully not send you to the coffin.
Excellent. That
And
sounds
then
pretty good.
finally, the Scissor Me Daddy.
Ah.
And I feel like this might be the most popular one, just because people are gonna want to go to a bartender and say, Scissor Me Daddy. And yes, you have to do the finger motions when you go up. And yes, I will clue up the bar staff beforehand.
You have to scissor them.
This is a shooter. It's tequila rose with a little top of Bailey's. So if you're familiar with the Baby Guinness, this is a pink version. It's kind of gonna be kind of like strawberries and cream.
It's gonna look like the Acclaimed logos
Exactly.
and scissors. So great job. All of these sound wonderful.
They've also got a great selection of beer. Guinness is only $5.30 at Trinity, which is pretty good. Pretty good for London prices. I know people come in from outside London. It's going to be a pricey day, but honestly, Trinity, we have some the best prices. You're not going to find these prices at Box Park. So
You're not gonna find them anywhere near Wembley. Doing some digging before even picking the venue and stuff, like London seems very expensive, especially on a night out. We just did an event in Toronto at a pretty high-end bar. We know the damages it can cost to our wallet before a wrestling event, and this isn't looking like that at all. This is looking at how we like it, and good prices, some good drinks. I'm loving this menu, Dave.
great selection of beers there, of ciders, non-alcoholic options as well. They do have like non-alcoholic gin and things like that
Cool,
at this
okay.
venue. So if you aren't partaking, if you're driving, if you're sober, whatever, there's plenty of options for you here. So it's going to be a great time. I am pumped. We are going to be posting all these menus on social media, doing some QR codes so you can scan it and have a look for yourself. But
Yeah, go.
start thinking what you want to have.
Yeah, go follow us on the socials again, because we have posted it on our Twitter. At least you posted it the other day. And maybe, you know, for All In, you want to make your own All In It drinks at home to drink along while watching the event at home. Well, all the ingredients are on this menu.
You've got plenty of time.
Yeah, so this gives you a heads up. And I'm talking to you, John Pollock.
Yes.
I know you're the new drink master. He's been secretly working on his cocktails. We gotta have him.
He's gonna stab me in the back one day, and we're just gonna see this post-wrestling event with a cocktail menu, and I'm gonna
It'll
be
be
like,
fabulous.
"What the fuck?"
Yeah, and he's creeping up there as the drink specialist. But I would love to hear his thoughts. And for anyone else out there, if you're gonna make these drinks or your own wrestling themed drinks, we love doing these for our events and everything. So yeah, we're super excited. This is gonna be great. We're gonna be getting lit at All In It in Trinity again. Follow us on the socials and Poisonrana.ca for the links of everything that we do. In case you don't have a ticket and stuff, let us know. We'll try to make some wiggle room. But as of right now, there's going to be a lot of people showing up. We're going to have a party. And trust me, we live the gimmick, brother. And we're going to be singing karaoke afterwards. So there you go. Maybe you were like, I can't come beforehand. You can come after. So lots and lots of stuff to do that day.
One more thing, it is an over 18s venue, and they ID everyone. So even if you're in your 40s, you're grey and balding and got 6 kids, please bring your ID along with you, because they will ID you to get into the venue.
Fair enough. There
All
you go.
right.
Shout out our listener in the chat, Cameron Starr again, who says he's devastated he can't come, that his partner's due date is the day before All In. Hey, bless you, brother. You got to do what you got to do, and all the
And
the
congratulations.
yeah, all the
as
love
well.
to you and yours
Don't
there.
be too upset.
Yeah. So you'll drink after, celebrate
Yes.
after.
Well, let's get into it. While we're on the subject of All In, the card is starting to sort of come together.
Yeah, it's only like in a few weeks. It's
Yeah.
only just starting to come together.
And I think it's time to have maybe a bit of a grumble here.
Yeah, go for it. Unload.
What the fuck's going on? Okay.
The biggest wrestling event in history.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there are certainly positives on this card. I think Young Bucks FTR, that sounds like an all-in worthy match. The closer to this is getting, why the fuck is All Out happening? At least when it is. Like, it's what Tony Khan's obsession with this tradition that at Labor Day weekend they have to run Chicago.
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of fuck Chicago.
Yeah.
Sorry, fuck tradition.
Yeah.
You've got potentially it's on course to be the biggest wrestling event of all time. That's not just a tagline. They're going to surpass WrestleMania 32 at this point. They've already surpassed SummerSlam 92.
Yes.
And it's only like a couple of thousand away from beating that 32 record. This should have been built for months. This should have been the sole focus. As much as like Blood and Guts was fun, it was another distraction. We've got kind of other distractions going on with, Darby Allin in 2 feuds because he's trying.
There's like 3. I don't know.
Because he's trying to set up for All Out and All In. WrestleMania, they had a tradition. Like on the 1st, on the 10th, on the 20th, they were on it at MSG. They then realized we're bigger than MSG now. We can run stadiums. They didn't go, oh, well, out of respect and out of tradition, we're going to do WrestleMania 30 at Madison Square Garden. They went to the Superdome in New Orleans. They're going to the Eagles Stadium in Philadelphia for the 40th.
Right.
Because they know it's a bigger deal than that now. That's how this should be. All the eggs should be in one basket with this show. The fact that, and we might be dating ourselves in a few days, and we might hear that these rumors that are circulating are false, but Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, 2 of your biggest stars since day one, should be in huge singles matches. And by all accounts, they're going to be in a 6-man tag, which I'm sure will be fun, but we don't really want fun. We want big, meaningful matches, right?
Yeah. I mean, no, we want fun too, but I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. It's like, why is this not treated like the way it should be? It should be treated like it's their first ever huge main event. Hey, it's your first ever All In. The name alone, he's such a mark over the name itself. So like using that, you would figure you're gonna really go crazy for this one. And by some reports, I was reading that Observer was saying that there was rumors that it was supposed to be Kenny versus Danielson for this show.
Okay.
Obviously, the injury that's not happening, and now that kind of forced to change plans. There might be certain people don't want to work with certain people. I'm not sure if that's ever a big part of this at all, but it's just something a bit bizarre. I love professional wrestling. I love watching everything. I think this past year, especially last year of just wrestling, has been good. Even WWE is just absolutely killing it when it comes to their big pay-per-views and shows. Like, I just think wrestling as a fan, we're super spoiled right now. And wrestling fans also like to pick sides. And WWE versus AEW is just always what people want to talk about. And as someone who just likes to take in everything I can watch and just be super entertained, I don't usually like to pick a side, but when it comes to this, like, you booked Wembley before WWE had, like, WWE did it in 92, but you booked Wembley and you got 80,000 people going there. WWE is pissed at that. There's no, they got to be angry 100%. At that. But look how you've been building this. You got to advertise on WWE shows to promote your thing. That's cool. That's awesome. But as a fan now of someone who's like been in your corner since day one, bro, we went to All In before Tony even was involved. We went to all the big AEW shows in the States. We've traveled. We're stupid. We spend money on this shit. And we're spending money to go to this thing. Obviously, it's going to be a fantastic event. But it just seems like
you've only got one shot at this. They're probably never going to do a show as big as this.
No,
in my opinion.
After this, no.
Even if this is a huge success, I don't think they'll break this ever.
Yeah.
There's only the first time once, right?
Yeah.
And
so you
risk putting people off because people got tickets for this on the assumption it's going to be their biggest show of all time.
Right.
Right.
I've
got friends who don't watch wrestling who've dropped £200 to go and see this with me, because I've said this is going to be great and you're going to have a great time.
Yeah.
And okay, like, people don't get along. Fucking grow up.
I mean,
excuse me.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, but these guys, your favorite wrestlers are Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. Guess what? They didn't get along. They put on great matches against each other. We're paying you a lot of money. Like, put your differences aside.
Yeah.
You've got a stadium. Don't you want to, like, have one of the biggest matches in one of the biggest venues ever? No, I'd rather be in a 6-man that everyone's going to forget in a week's time.
It might not. We don't know what, like, is the stories behind certain things and why certain matches are put this way. We don't know who's hating on who, if people don't want to work with people. We, like, as of right now, we're still like, hey, what's going on with this stupid build? Because as much as I love MJF and Adam Cole as the brochachos, you're building to your first ever WrestleMania. Why are they at a trampoline park? Sorry, I laughed my ass off watching it, but did that scream, wow, this is going to be a fucking fantastic main event at your 80,000 seat thing.
Yeah.
Better promote it by Adam Cole, the challenger for the biggest wrestling event of all time, is unfazed by getting a title shot. And just, you know what? I never really won those Ring of Honor tag titles. It'd be great if I could win those at the biggest wrestling show. I don't care about the world title because that means absolute dog shit. I just want the Ring of Honor tag titles.
Okay, so
Like, what is going on with the booking for this show? It's so ridiculous.
I am intrigued by this. And, like, I think that's one of the things I kind of like because it is a bit different. And I'm curious with this 0 hour, is this maybe going to be on TV? Maybe in the UK or like whatever. I feel it's going to be more than just YouTube. And I think they're shooting an angle of some sort.
Okay.
And I think that's interesting. Like, we've seen it before, you know, like Bret Hart facing Owen at the beginning and then being in the main event.
Well,
Daniel,
it's Bret and Bulldog where they were friends, kind of.
yeah.
Right?
So I think I'm actually quite interested. I think it's like ambitious and it is outside the box, and I don't mind it because it kind of does make sense to the story because they're kind of trying to prove to each other that they're best friends. So it's like, okay, we're wrestling in the main event, but still we're friends and we're going to get these titles. And it can go different ways. You could shoot the angle. You could have Adam Cole turn on MJF and like really heat it up for that main event and have two defined like babyface heel in the main, or you could have MJF lose it for Cole again and then win the main event, and Cole can be like, wait, so you have your shoulders pinned to the mat when it's in a tag match, but when it's against me, no, like you're not going that extra step for me, and that could justify a turn. I think it's one of the more interesting things in the show.
So you're saying one of these guys is getting pinned before they have to have the main event slot?
Possibly. I think I do find this interesting, and I don't mind it because we are building something. It did feel left field on Wednesday, but the fact is they're trying to promote these two as being the best of friends,
like
having a match with each other.
Imagine LeBron and fucking Michael Jordan in some bizarre wide world are best friends in the sport, and because you know they're not playing together right now, obviously. But then they go, we gotta face each other. Our teams are facing tomorrow night, and like it's gonna be crazy. We gotta face each other. It's gonna be nuts. But you know what I've always wanted to do with you is win this college team game before the event.
Okay, no. Finals with
Right.
each other, and then the next day facing each other in a singles thing.
Okay.
And I think it's like the extra stakes they're putting on their friendship in this match.
Right.
And that's how they built
The
this.
extra stakes of the Ring of Honor tag titles.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not in. I think the match will be great. Adam Cole's awesome. MJF has just been so good. I really genuinely still love what they've been doing. But yeah,
Don't you think this puts more interest in the 0 hour? Don't you think that's gonna, like, are you gonna go, if they announce, okay, 0 hour is Dark Order versus I don't know, Dark Order versus Best Friends on the 0 hour, we'll probably be having a beer at Trinity and going, we can get there after that.
but can we not focus on the show first? We need fuck 0 hour right now.
This isn't about Aussie Open. This isn't about a feud with Aussie Open. This is an extension of MJF and Adam Cole's story.
Yeah.
I find it interesting, and I am more intrigued about this than other stuff on the show.
I mean, the only things right now announced are MJF Cole, Darby and Sting versus Mogul in a coffin match. Mogul. the 4-way women's match, FTR and the Bucks, and then the 0 Hour Ring of Honor tag title. It just feels like, why do I have to hear Darby Allin cut promos on Luchasaurus for Chicago when he's got
this Chicago show shouldn't be happening.
Just Chicago. Fuck Chicago, bro.
It feels
Your pizza
like
sucks.
It feels like, you know.
Kidding, but yeah,
I like pizza. Fuck off.
It is good. I'm just joking. But fuck Chicago. Like this show, like this should be the show they make it huge, right? Like
I don't know. It feels like fucking WrestleMania building to a show at Full Sail.
Backlash.
You know, like
yeah,
like it's
we got 80,000 people showing up.
Week.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, we just booked our first ever international show, but fuck that. We really should get backlash. Yeah, we got to get backlash.
Chicago fans.
Like what?
Like how are you? Because you feel it, and like I know we've got a lot of listeners from Chicago, and they love going to these shows, and they have a great time, and that's great. But what you get is the rest of the fucking world resent Chicago. You know, they resent these events that are happening there, and this is gonna put people off.
Is this because Chicago's the only city that they can like fill? Other than like obviously they got 80,000 people, but it's because
they run other cities.
They do run other cities, and they're not finding people are showing up.
Like these, like you're advertising for Grand Slam as well. Just a few weeks after,
and it's not doing too well.
Last year's Grand Slam didn't sell as much as the first Grand Slam. This one's going to be even less.
Absolutely.
And especially, I don't know if you've seen these ticket prices, but they're outrageous. For like,
ridiculous.
Like get them on secondary market because they'll be cheap on the day on StubHub, cheaper than Ticketmaster. So it's been such a thing with Tony Khan, and I like his strength is his roster. His roster can pull off this shit, and I'm sure that if it is the 6-man we're getting, it's going to be good. We're never going to talk about it again, but you'll remember like, oh wow, do you remember Kenny Ospreay 3 in front of 80,000 people?
I'm hoping that's still it. I'm just phasing out everything and hoping
like,
that's
Bucks FDR feels the like most like stadium
dream match,
and by all accounts the Bucks weren't for it either. They probably wanted to face Dark Order or some shit. Like it's bonkers. I don't know what's going on. Like, and yeah, Tony Khan needs to like put his foot down with these people not working each other and all that. Sorry guys, shut up. I'm giving you a lot of money, and this is the match you're doing. It's in front of a sold-out stadium, and it's going to be huge. Grow the fuck up, all of you.
Yeah, I genuinely think, though, that TK, love TK, but this build to this big event just has not hit the way that it feels like we're gearing up. Obviously, we're different. We're going to this thing, but so are 80,000 people that have never been like this. They've never gone to the
question.
Yeah,
when was the last well-built pay-per-view in AEW?
I guess never, because they never really build up to their
pandemic.
Yeah,
like maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like
I'm sure
they build to TV pretty well.
It's gonna be great.
They build to a TV double cage match pretty well, but like, it's the focus is all over the place.
Yeah, I tune in and I watch Dynamite and I watch Collision this week, both shows. I wouldn't really know that it was your biggest show this year.
One of your main stars on Collision can't wrestle for both pay-per-views because he's suspended. You know, like. It's
nothing makes sense. It's very
Powerhouse Hobbs would rather have a match in Chicago than in front of 80,000 people.
Yeah. It's very baffling and head scratching. I've watched AEW programming this week, and as much as they hit you over the head with biggest wrestling show in history, it does not feel like that. A lot of their other builds have felt like that. Forbidden Door felt better.
And it's definitely going to risk turning people off, I think, and especially like going into a market like London for the first time, where we've said we know people flying from the US to go to this show. We know people traveling from Denmark to go to this show and other parts of Europe. They're not going to do a stadium show, in my opinion, again. So say they announce Wembley Arena or the O2 or like Manchester Arena or something like that. Do you think Germans are going to put money in their pockets and go, oh, I better go to that show? No, because it's just like we've always seen in these UK shows that you don't get a meaningful title to change there. You don't see the real stars a lot of the time.
But like, we're going to get Grado.
Is that happening? Like, he was a novelty. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's so confusing, and really it's 2 weeks left. Like, Kenny Omega's sitting down this week to JR to contemplate what its match should be.
We all know what the match should be.
We all know
God
what the
damn
match
it.
should be. If you're gonna do a 2-week build to something, you either do what they've done with the Bucks and FTR, and to an extent, Punk Joe, where it's like there's so much history already there that we can just pull the trigger.
Right.
You can do that with Kenny and Ospreay. I don't think you can do that with Kenny and Jericho if that is the match.
Kenny.
Sorry, Jericho Ospreay.
Right.
Like 2 weeks to build to that. I know Ospreay's doing the G1 and stuff, and like that's just wrapped up. But
I'm sure he's on his way to Wednesday night.
like,
regardless.
I'm enjoying the Mogul affiliate stuff going on. But like AR Fox with one of the first matches announced for Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, not on my bingo
still-
card.
I like AR Fox. He's a fantastic wrestler, but the fact that we know AR Fox's match before we know Adam Page, before we know Kenny Omega, before we know
Hangman,
Chris Jericho,
Bucks. There's the
like
list will
what
continue.
the fuck is going on?
Yeah, like right now, Wednesday night. This is how it's felt the past few weeks.
What is the match?
How many times did I look over to you and go, "What's the fucking match? What's the match? What's the match, though?"
Oh, you know what? You know what? This would be a good time to heat up Brock Anderson.
Yeah, let's get
This
Brock
is a good time
Anderson.
to heat up Chucky T.
You know what?
And Trent Beretta.
Will Hobbs, he's gonna go back to reading again. Let's go back to that. Let's
That'll that's for Chicago.
just so ridiculous. Like,
And I really hope this, like, Stephanie Chase, I'm looking at you. If you're staying for this presser, be like, Tony, why did you book this card?
of all the, you could have chat GPT'd a better card than
Of
this.
all the things, like, why is your attention on Chicago?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
What does Chicago have on Tony Khan, huh?
And what did it take Punk with that promo the other week to be like, hey, aren't we doing a stadium show too? Oh yeah, we better put some stuff together. I'm baffled, and it's really disappointing because I don't think like a Forbidden Door you can get away with just throwing matches together because of the logistics of just having Japanese talent and US
AEW,
talent.
yeah.
Like it's difficult, and I think you can get by on just going, you know, that double header this year: Okada, Danielson, Omega, Ospreay. Cool. This should have been built for months.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we get like some sort of surprises. Like I know All In, the way that was thrown together was better, and that was on a Behind the Elite. That was on a YouTube show.
They built that for months.
They built that for a fucking
And, like,
year, man.
As much as like one of the matches was based on a 6-month story about a penis and a dead guy,
Yeah.
like it was a story. It
Yeah.
built to it, and that's why I am in the camp of kind of enjoying this MJF Adam Cole thing, because at least they're telling a story, and as maybe baffling as this tag match is, I'm intrigued because there is some thought behind it. There's more thought than the rest of this card.
Like, what else are we getting? Are we getting a surprise Nigel taking off his jacket and revealing he's wrestling a match? Like, are we getting...
Do people want that?
I don't know. Like, it just seems like, are we getting, you know, is Rob Van Dam brought in to face someone in a dream? Like, are we getting All In style, like, oh, random dream matches like the first one was? Because it doesn't necessarily feel like that, which, like, okay, but you still haven't done any other stories, and now there's only 2 more weeks of TV, so...
Also, like, UK aren't particularly patriotic, really.
Right.
I don't think they overly care about, like, a big British star, like, unless they're already a star. Unless they're, like, a Jamie Hayter, who unfortunately sucks, that injury.
Yeah.
But, like she'd have felt like a big deal. A Jamie Hayter title defense. Pac is big enough. Unfortunately, he's injured and off the show as well. But you don't need to bring in a Grado to get that pop, because we don't care.
Yeah.
Like, the UK fans want to see what they've been watching on TV.
Exactly.
They've seen Kenny have an incredible singles match in Toronto. You go, I want that. I want a Kenny singles match.
Yeah.
We get the 6-man tags at Ted Reeve. You know, like it's you get that. You get that on a Dynamite.
Yeah.
We don't want
Yeah, no, it is legit, like, baffling of just like how this is the biggest show and this is how you're kind of treating it is kind of weird. So just our more than 2 cents on the topic. I could probably keep talking about it because it's just like so weird. It's like you could compare it to any other form. It's like, oh, we're doing our biggest gig ever. Okay, so what are we doing? We'll worry about it in a week or two.
How good was both nights of Mania this year?
Amazing.
They were good.
Yeah.
And like you're not the biggest WWE fan, but a lot of those matches had well-told stories. They've been in place. We knew, you know, Dom and Ray was going to be the match for a while. We knew Roman Cody was going to be the match for a while. We knew Usos, Owen, Sami. Like, all those matches had a pretty good build for a while.
Yeah.
And both nights were solid. They're essentially trying to do that here with these two pay-per-views back-to-back. We're 2 weeks out, and, like, we've got 4 matches announced for main card for this. We've got 1 match announced for All Out. Like,
ridiculous.
Bizarre.
It's still going to be great.
Yeah.
And we're going to be eating our words in a few weeks when we're like, wow, this was so good. Oh, my God. But still, the destination is like, huh? You have, like, 3 shows a week. Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. I mean, no one watches Rampage, so let's not count it. So you got 4 hours of TV a week, and this is how you chose to build to your 80+ thousand stadium thing. Someone grabbed the pen. I'm sorry, TK. You need help. We need other people in the lab. We need other people shooting in the gym with you here to work together.
Just
Things work.
Anyone. You look at the roster and you go, oh yeah, you know, put Hangman against Moxley again. Okay. Put Omega versus Osprey. Put Bucks versus FTR.
Yeah.
Or put Punk versus Kenny. Oh, but they don't like each other. Oh, I don't care. I'm paying them thousands of dollars. They're doing their job today.
Yeah, right.
And one of them will win and one of them will lose, and they'll get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
Because that's their job. You know, I do things I don't like. I don't like cleaning the toilets at the end of my shift at work. You know why I do it? Because I get paid to do it, and it's my job.
Well,
Anyway.
We'll see if that happens.
Yeah. Well, let's go into a bit of Dynamite this week, where we're probably going to say the same.
Audio back on.
We are back on.
You were shitting on AEW so much.
My mic was like, this guy needs to shut up.
This guy needs to
This guy looks way too angry right now talking about wrestling. Let's cut him off. Yeah, we had the Hardys versus the Young Bucks this week on TV.
Okay, well, I have a great. I mentioned I went to GCW last week. I know that obviously I wasn't expecting Jeff Hardy to come out and hit swanton bombs off ladders and stuff at an indie show, but I was expecting him to like have some sort of angle or segment, and his angle or segment was after their stream ended, he comes out and goes, "Hey everyone, thanks for coming and supporting me," and then gave Trey Baxter a twist of fate, and that was it. And I was like, okay, well, like, could have not promoted you on this show because now you didn't do anything. They didn't even sell his merch. Like, I was like, what are you even really here for? It felt like a
didn't he do his concert after?
He did his concert after, but that was a separate. You had to buy tickets for that as well. Right. So I bought tickets with Jeff Hardy on the poster for GCW just to see him go, "Thanks for coming. I'm doing a concert now. Buy tickets for that," which was weird. So I felt that was a bit of a bait and switch and kind of cheesed at that, in my opinion. However, still really like enjoyed GCW. So now when AEW announced the Hardy Boys versus the Bucks, I'm like, I think we're past that. Like, I think I'm definitely a huge Hardy Boy fan since being a kid, but I definitely know where they lie now in the world of wrestling. They've gotten up there. I mean, they're like almost 50, if not that, or older than that. And I thought this kind of the match with the Bucks was a bit better than I expected. That I went, oh, you know what? Maybe Jeff Hardy still has it. Matt Hardy is still looking a little old and clunky, but Jeff specifically, I was like, oh, like he actually looks good. And I thought this was a step up from their match that was like a pay-per-view match.
Last year's Double or Nothing.
Something like that, yeah. So like the Hardy Boys will always have a place in my heart. And going into this match on Wednesday, I was like, oh, actually, I got way more into that than I thought I was.
I think it was a great idea for TV.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen the match on pay-per-view a few times when, like, you know, when the Hardys were a little bit more, I wouldn't say in their prime then, but a little bit more in their prime. And I think it's like the Bucks can win clean here and should win clean here because they're facing FTR. And I think you come out of it going, as you did, oh, Hardys didn't look too bad. I thought it was fun and actually worked really well on TV. Kind of like, you know, when they did the Omega Mox cage match on TV. Where it's like, we've seen this on pay-per-view a few times. You can give it away for free now.
Yeah.
And you look at the card and you go, oh shit, Hardy's
Bucks.
this week. That's great.
I mean, a few years ago, it was a big deal when they would do that.
I thought it was really good. I think it kind of put the Bucks right back in the tag division where they should be and should have been for a while now.
Yeah.
And yeah, good kind of win to build up this FTR match. Part of me wonders if this is the match the Bucks were pushing for Wembley.
Hardys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you can do it on TV. You're facing FTR. But I don't like them. Yeah, you're facing FTR.
Yeah. Or it's the other way around. Or it's they always knew this was when they announced it. We were like, hey, they should just do Bucks FTR, and they probably said the same thing. Like, should we just not do this match? Yeah, okay. I'm sure the Hardys will be featured on All In, but yeah, this was cool. I would like to fuck it. I tweeted this out earlier. RVD Jeff Hardy one more time. All fucking systems go. Bring the chairs, ladders, do all the shit one last time. They both looked good on Wednesday night. I want that summer. Put the hardcore title on the line.
Didn't you say Bully Ray was talking about?
Yeah, Bully Ray wants
TLC. What would it be for these TLC 4 between these three?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Bully Ray on Twitter is like, I want one more TLC with all the teams involved.
So all you need is Edge now to come over. Or does Luchasaurus just play Edge? Get Griff Garrison with Christian.
Yeah, exactly. Just he's Edge, young Sexton.
Yeah, I don't know if Devon can still go.
But yeah, All In, Jeff Hardy versus RVD in a hardcore match.
TLC?
Please just do it. Fuck it.
Who like if there is room for another tag match with the Hardys, who would you like to see them against?
Is there other teams?
I think Hardys like Acclaimed would be pretty fun.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Like I feel the Acclaimed should be on this show. They're like a pretty huge
I think
like people want to do the.
I think you hit it there. That's two teams that should be on this show that aren't.
Build to the Billy Gunn return, and
yeah.
Come on, you need to scissor me daddy in got a whole shot named after it.
Yeah,
you're not gonna scissor me daddy. What a time to retire. You know what?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a big stadium show.
We're doing our biggest show.
Probably a big payday. Get a party in London. I'm gonna retire now. What?
So you're thinking he comes out to save them at?
I don't know. Bit of a history between Hardys and Billy. Like who would you have with the Hardys? Who?
Yeah.
I guess you can't have Lita.
I mean, they have fucking
Shannon Moore.
You know, I'd love that, but no. Yeah, they'll do a 3 count. No.
Senor Benjamin.
They got like, yeah, we're going through all their. Yeah. No, he's got like they've got their Hardy compound office people.
Oh yeah.
What are they called?
Brother Zay and all that.
Brother Zay.
True.
And Ego, Ethan Page.
Gangrel.
Oh yeah, Gangrel should come out. We're just fantasy booking all this shit's not happening at all. All these people will not be on this.
And Gangrel owns his music, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, he does own that song.
So,
banging and banging with the Hardys versus the
hell yeah, Acclaimed Hardys. Not gonna happen, but we've just booked it. You see,
someone just
talk to us.
Someone just listened to us shit on their booking, and then that's the match we want to see, and everyone's like, "Wait a second."
Because these are two big acts that should be on the show.
Right? Yeah. No.
With all due respect, they are fucked. All right. Well, we also had RVD back in action. I think his first match in 2-3 years.
Wow. Okay.
Against Jungle Boy Jack Perry, FTW rules match, which means anything goes. Jungle Boy Jungle. Jack Perry cosplaying as Jerry Lynn here, taking on RVD. Check out our best match ever, RVD versus Jerry Lynn. We do have it for free on the Patreon right now still. I've not put a paywall behind it again yet, so check that out.
Yeah, we know a lot about the history of RVD and Jerry Lynn. In fact, we looked at all of their encounters and reviewed it and rated them and did a whole podcast about that. That was a ton of fun. Really funny to see Jungle Jerk come out wearing Jerry Lynn's gear. Clearly, he just borrowed them from him. Like, they're clearly really friends in real life that they're like, okay, well, then you just wear my pants to that match. It'd be funny. So I enjoyed that. Very, like, almost like how Seth Rollins trolls his opponents a bit sometimes with the gear. I thought that was, like, a nice touch. But RVD looking absolutely yoked. Like, the whole damn show is 52 years old, and he looks great.
He hit everything.
Oh, man, he murdered him with that spin kick off the top to the outside.
Kick on the barricade.
Whoa! I screeched. We shouted watching this, and
hit the Rolling Thunder.
He
hit
looked
the monkey
good.
Flip. Hit the Van Daminator. Like he did everything and looked awesome.
So kids, whenever people tell you that smoking weed is bad, they were wrong and they were lying to you.
Also, kids, stretch.
Stretching can save your career.
When I have a kid, I'm gonna just be like stretching their legs while they're still flexible. It's like you will be able to do the split.
You will be able to do a split-legged moonsault.
Little young Barry. Like,
so yeah, RVD just like I was not expecting to. I am a huge RVD fan for multiple reasons. You can guess why, and I was blown away by how he looked. So
I thought really fun match. I think Jack Perry is really kind of like feeling a bit more comfortable in this heel role. It's working. He's getting good reactions. I think he's starting to have real good like heelish instincts. But yeah, I kind of similar way I thought to the Hardys. I think if you announce this match for All In, you'd be going, ooh, how's that going to look? Whereas doing it on TV, I thought was great and surprised and blew expectations away. And I think we could see RVD in a few more just, random Dynamite and Collision matches.
If it's not Jeff Hardy at All In, would you book RVD even on like the 0 hour?
You could have him in the Battle Royal.
True. Is there an All In Battle Royal? Probably.
There's got to be. They're going to want everyone on the show, aren't they? And for me, that's where you put Grado. That's where you do the Grado Jeff Jarrett spot.
Right.
Don't give them a match, but have a moment in the Battle Royal, which would be fun. You can do, bring out some old British legends.
Johnny Saint.
Doug
Williams.
Yeah, I guess Johnny Saint doesn't have a job with WWE anymore, does he?
I think he's still there though, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah.
But a Doug Williams, something like that. Like that would be nice, and that is the spot you can put one of those matches.
But not as a marquee one.
I don't think
because I'd say RVD after how good he looked, I would put him in a match.
Like do a Rumble style thing, so you get the pops of the entrances and things. But he looked great. I mean,
I imagine it's Hook versus Jungle Boy at All In.
I would think
or
so.
Chicago.
Like Jungle Boy's got to attack Taz like next week, right?
He should have attacked him after the match. Actually,
it's
because Taz has been great dissing him.
Yeah, so I think that we'll probably have Jungle Boy attack Taz next week, and then the return of Hook to set up that match. And
for Chicago.
For Chicago, it could be. Yeah, it could be. FTW rules. What are some kind of dream matches for RVD?
For me, I told you Jeff Hardy right off the bat. You got me sold on the acclaimed Hardys thing, so that kind of makes RVD with the Hardys.
RVD and the Hardys. Yeah.
Be crazy. Honestly, like you would have asked me earlier this year if I wanted to see RVD and Jeff Hardy wrestle. I think they kind of proven people wrong. I could not. I was flabbergasted of how great RVD looked. He's living the life, by the way. RVD. I love this guy.
Like, what about RVD Kenny on TV?
That's Kenny's dream match.
Really?
Kenny has said this multiple times. RVD and Kurt Angle, and both people have turned down Tony before because Tony asked Kenny, "What do you want?" And he said, "I want these guys."
Can't see Kurt doing it.
Kurt asked for millions of dollars.
You could certainly do RVD Kenny on a Dynamite, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's big enough for a pay-per-view, but I think that just...
you know what, though? It would have been...
a TV rating.
If you had RVD show up, like, 5 weeks ago, and you go, everyone just saying what they're saying, like, oh, shit, he's actually kind of jacked. He's looking good. He hit all the spots. He didn't... In my opinion, he looked better than... in one match than his TNA run.
Yeah.
He figured something out, and he knew, I'm 52. I got to get healthy.
Well,
like,
it's also, like, it's a bigger stage, Like, I'm sure...
He treated it seriously.
He'll be in the Rumble next year.
Yeah.
WWE would have seen that and gone, Rob, do you want a spot in the Rumble?
Yeah. And I thought he had a Legends deal anyways. I'm surprised that he was even like brought in here, but really cool that he was. But I don't know. Kenny RVD, if you promoted that for weeks in advance, people would have been hyped. All these like all the
Viking
hardcore
RVD.
Yeah, there you go.
Like,
although, hey, I heard he got hurt last night. I hope he's okay. Yeah, at Triple Mania, something happened. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, that would be crazy. There's so many different things you could book with RVD looking that good.
Deathmatch Mox versus RVD. There's a lot of interest seeing that he can go. I think there's a whole lot of interesting combinations that you could just have this real like wacky run.
I'm down for it. Yeah, we need a hardcore title in AEW.
Yeah, it's the FTW title.
I guess. Yeah.
And then we've kind of talked a bit about the MJF Adam Cole stuff. Yeah, I didn't think the trampoline stuff was as good as some of their other stuff.
Yeah, look, I think they're really funny. MJF, I see being a huge star in like Hollywood after. He genuinely makes me laugh every time they do these segments. But this one definitely, as soon as it cut to them like in a trampoline park with little kids, and the gags are like 2000s comedy movie gags where they're beating kids up with dodgeballs, like Daddy Daycare or something. I'm like, kind of not where I want to go for like my main event world title picture thing. Like WWE, I don't think we'd even do that for their main title thing. You know, if Jeff Hardy and Sheamus are having a match for nothing, we can joke about piss and joke around and do stupid shit. When it comes to the title match, usually is treated a bit more serious. And I scratched my head at that. I still laughed at certain things. And then they did a segment where Adam Cole could give two fucks about the title and just wants the Ring of Honor tag titles. So I really was confused and not sure where they were going with it. And I know you said it's like intriguing. I actually thought this week made it a little less intriguing. So
for me, they're building this friendship between these two and making you sympathize with MJF. Yeah. He's our asshole now.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing it in a way that once the split happens, and it should be Cole turning on MJF.
Yeah.
It'll be heartbreaking. You've heard MJF. He's done the same story about the, kids throwing quarters at him.
Right.
And the first time was to kind of lure Punk in and stab him. And this time was a lot more genuine, where you feel for him. You really feel for him. And I think it's going to make it way more heartbreaking. And our friend Jesse from the Six, he always says, Adam Cole's a terrible heel. He's a fan favorite. Like, he's a bad guy, but everyone chants his stuff and everything. I think when he turns on him, it could be like, Ciampa turning on Johnny. Get rid of the boom. Get rid of the Adam Cole baby. Just be a complete cunt.
Right.
And he's the one that kind of broke MJF, and you'll feel sorry for this guy. So I don't know necessarily if they're doing that at All In. Like, it could be like after the fact. Like, they may be tag champions, and like, but Cole then resents him. But I don't know. I am enjoying it. I know it's not for everyone. I know comedy's not for everyone, especially for the main event. But I think it's working for these two, especially turning Max babyface.
It's got to be like working, like the crowd reactions. It's funny. It is one of the only stories going, and I think AEW lacks like storytelling sometimes. So I got to give them credit for that. But I do. This week's definitely was like, okay, I wouldn't have done that.
And then Roddy.
Roddy, like, I love how that's still going. We were joking about him doing this shtick in NXT, and he's still doing it.
Yeah.
He's just got the neck brace, and he's angry all the time.
Even like way before neck brace.
Yeah.
Remember when he was just like mad at the Creeds and
he's
Diamond
just mad at everyone.
Time?
He's just angry at everyone.
He's such a hilarious character.
Yeah.
And MJF just like completely cutting him down.
Yeah. MJF just murdering him on TV.
Go listen to Taylor Swift, you bland. Like
Caw, he called him the other week. Yeah, it's just so funny. I don't know if Roddy gets involved somehow with.
So yeah, what's going on? So Roddy's with the Kingdom now.
Yeah, who cares? No.
Do you think Cole just joins up with them all to form a stable?
That's the end game, I guess. After
to like face off MJF. Does Kyle ever come back?
Yeah, not sure. Not sure. I don't know if that's the best direction. I'd say Adam Cole hanging around Roddy. Maybe Roddy the whole time was actually like, we were tricking you, MJF. Like, we're...
Yeah, but Nick's been fine for ages.
It's not even... That's the whole bit. They're like, actually, you didn't need to wear that neck.
Even hurt his neck. Oh, Samoa Joe? Was it?
The Creeds.
Yeah. No, Damon Kemp.
Damon Kemp.
Right. Damon Kemp. And then what? Samoa Joe re-injured it?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Roddy's
Shout
hilarious.
out Roddy. Yeah, he's so funny.
Absolutely ridiculous. Adam!
So bad. It's so good. I love it. They know what they're doing with that, though.
Oh, 100%.
Like the neck brace, yeah.
And then we had the women's championship on the line. Anna Jay versus Hikaru Shida in an alright match, but kind of more just setting up this four-way with your four top women in AEW. It kind of makes sense. I don't know why it needed a tournament.
No, it didn't. It doesn't make sense, actually. Yeah. So the champion wins. She's the new champion, and then the week after, they're making her defend it against Anna Jay in the main event. Sorry, you have the biggest wrestling show ever. What was the go home segment?
Yeah,
Shida beating Anna Jay. Okay, cool. However, they made the former champ get the buy-in in the thing, but the champion had to win the match. So they went. Tony Storm and Sheeta's promos were so backwards that they didn't even know they changed titles because she's like, I'm already going to Wembley. Really, bitch? Why? Because you lost last week.
She activated a rematch.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. I didn't know they did that here in AEW. Let's look back at all the times they've gone right back to the rematch for the... No, don't do that shit. I just found that so backwards and ridiculous. Saraya obviously should get a spot just because she's British. She's a big star. I totally understand that. I can see other people getting upset, like, well, what has she even really done in AEW thus far? I just hope she doesn't win, which is possible, I guess. I think the whole reason giving the title to Sheeta was so that Saraya can take it off of her.
Yeah, I'm interested. Like, I do think these are the 4 who should be.
These are the 4 that should be featured.
If Jamie was healthy, I think you could have a big singles match. You could have done Jamie Britt, Jamie Saraya, whatever. But this makes sense. Like, Sheeta's been there since the beginning. Like, I think it's great that she gets this title run now with a crowd because she was the pandemic champion.
Yeah.
Britt obviously is star. Saraya, like, it makes sense. These 4 women. Just book the match. I don't get why it needed a tournament because we were gonna have Anna Jay versus Tony Storm versus the Bunny versus Sky Blue.
Yeah,
like no one bought that happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested though because I don't know how over Saraya will be in London. I'm sure she's got a whole load of fans there who are gonna be excited to see Paige. But
yeah, she'll just have her boyfriend play her out. She'll get the crowd right.
I could actually see out these 4 Sheeta being the babyface and getting that Io Shirai treatment, you know, like Sheeta's hometown's London. I kind of could see it going that way.
Yeah, and Brit's popular.
People are hot and cold with, but I don't know which way it's going. I also forgot because it was Anna JS. Forgot to mention the Jericho.
Okay, yeah, we can briefly talk about that. I mean, kind of ridiculous with how the storyline of Daniel Garcia was just fumbled from like all the way back. I'd say it's been a success because he's now found out he can dance since becoming a sports entertainer. So breaking up with someone and then dancing in front of them was pretty funny. He's like party boy. But yeah, I'm just like, is this leading to Jericho Ospreay? Because if so, really don't want that. So kind of a backwards thing. As much as I love Daniel Garcia, and it just felt like after all the shit we went through, that they don't know how to treat champions, and they don't know how to end storylines properly.
It was just an anticlimactic like fizzle out of this
so,
thing, and Sammy's like, well, I'll stick with you because you're my mate. But yeah, this, I mean, I guess it kind of elevated some of them to an extent, but not to the level it should have. Yeah. And then this whole breakup, it's not about them, it's about Jericho. Yeah. Isn't it? And setting up what's next for him. So it was weird. I think, I don't think we're really going to have that proper Garcia Jericho match. No. Really.
I don't even want to see it now.
Yeah, it just felt like, let's just end this thing now. And
yeah, very bizarre.
And long. It's a long segment.
Yeah.
I thought like some of the promo, I thought Parker and Menard sounded fantastic with their stuff. Menard saying about, you know, like first thing he bought was a Jericho shirt, and how when he got like let go by WWE and had a 8-month pregnant wife and all that, Jericho was the one that brought him in, which is true. Like they were on 2.0 was on his podcast, and he was like, oh, these guys have something, and kind of got them in. So I thought that was really good, but just this story's weird, and like how that leads to a potential Ospreay match is odd.
I hope that's not the case.
But like at this point, it's if you're not doing Ospreay Omega, like I'm like, okay, I guess Jericho's gonna have a singles match. Yeah. There, but who's the the baby? It should be Ospreay. Ospreay's a babyface in New Japan now. He should be
like I'm hoping that we're not getting Kenny in a tag, because it'd make way more sense to have Jericho, Sami, and Garcia in a tag against like a 3-team. Like that makes more. Jericho doesn't need a singles match. He's done fucking WrestleManias. He's main evented WrestleMania.
Yeah, but like also it's
Jericho.
It's Jericho. He's gonna want a singles match, and he's gonna be one of these recognizable faces to people who might just be going because wrestling's in town and don't watch AEW.
Sure,
you know.
True.
Yeah. just bizarre.
Yeah, a little bit.
Then we had Collision
That's right.
this week.
Are you a collider?
Ricky Starks kicking things off, saying that he's been suspended for 30 days, so he can't wrestle at All In or All Out. So if you had any Ricky Starks matches in your mind for those pay-per-views, they ain't happening. But he can be a manager now, so we can still see it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not a bit huge on Ricky Starks as many people are, but I think it's because they did it wrong. I think he should have been, they want to cheer him, but he's saying all these mean things and saying all these bad things. So again, AEW has the cool bad guy thing going on with him because, yeah, actually I support you. You beat Punk by cheating when Punk's cheated his whole career, like a lot of times. So you got the one up on him before he could do it to you. And instead you like turn heel when it should have been the other way around. Punk should have lost his shit and Punk should have beat the shit out of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat instead almost. But yeah. So then your character's hot right now. Let's have him not wrestle, but then say he's suspended, and then he goes, "Yeah, I thought you'd do that, so instead I got a manager's card."
So who's he gonna manage?
I have no idea. I guess someone at All In and All Out. I thought the promo was
He's gonna
good.
manage Samoa Joe,
He's gonna be in Joe's corner.
I guess.
Yeah, it's weird. I thought the promo was good. Again, he's a really good talker, but
I do like Ricky Starks, and I the manager thing's a bit baffling, but I really like his promo, and I think being a heel is good for him. Like I the comparisons to The Rock are there, but I prefer him in this vibe, kind of being a heelish babyface in a way, like a heel that people will want to cheer, and it will to eventually like revert him back to being a babyface. I think Collision's been good for him as being a bit more focused each week, and I don't get the manager thing, but I was impressed with his promo, as I usually am, and I think he's settled into this role pretty nicely.
He's a really good talker, and sometimes it's not even what he's saying, it's just like how he's talking. He can read a phone book,
how he holds himself and everything.
He could read a phone book and probably make it sound really good. I'm just not liking
taking Cody's pyro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm just not like invested of where like they're pushing too many bad guys right now. I mean, they're trying to flip MJF or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're doing. AEW does such a good job of making mid-card stars. They don't make their next guy. Look at their pay-per-view like main events. It's always still the same people. Yeah, because those are the real main event players. So they have a hard time of getting someone from there to that next level, and they just can't do it. Hobbs, Wardlow, Ricky Starks, like
even like Darby. I think Darby you
probably could. He's probably bigger
put in
than
a
them,
meaningful singles world title match at some point. I know he had the 4-way, but I don't really count that. But like I think he's ready when they want to. Yeah. But they don't. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So Ricky had a promo on Collision. There was what else happened on Collision?
We had Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. Brock Anderson's huge return.
So that's the match?
Luchasaurus, killing Brock Anderson, and then Darby coming out. I think Darby, like, I've been enjoying some of his promos recently, and then sometime I'm thinking more of that 4-way build. They're bad. I thought he sounded really good in this. I thought he sounded good last week when he was kind of calling out AR Fox and all that. I think he's got a real good like passion. He sounds good, like, you know, just pissed off. I don't like it when he's trying to cut jokes, because that's just not his character. It's not him. But I was so expecting Christian to be, you know, when he goes, "You paint half your face because you're dead inside." The whole story is his uncle died, right? And he's been painting his face half ever since. I so thought Christian was going to be like, "I know your dad's not dead, but your uncle, dead."
You didn't even get that. Maybe they didn't let him say that.
But again, just baffling. We're building a feud, like we're building All In with Darby on Dynamite, and we're building All Out with Darby on Collision.
Because he got a match with the Lizard Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just weird. But I guess the coffin.
And so we got Christian Darby next week.
Yeah, 1-on-1. But I mean, so we got a coffin match, a double tag team coffin match. Does this mean you got to put both of them in the coffins? I'm assuming there's 2 coffins each.
And is it like tables where you got to do it like like one after the other.
You have to put them in it. They can't just fall in it.
Yeah.
Like a tables tag team match. You know what? I think this would be pretty fun and pretty good. It just wasn't what we were like maybe expecting, but I'm happy that Wembley's gonna go bonkers for Sting.
Oh yeah, Sting had to be on this show.
Yeah.
And I hope you do this late in the evening, you know, when it's dark now, and you get a huge Sting stadium entrance.
Right.
I think this would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure you'll get you know, the other Mowgli affiliates involved to allow Nick
Snake,
Wayne,
the Puma,
Nick Wayne to come for the
bare
big
necessities.
save and, yeah. Darby's coffin matches have been pretty fun so far. So a tag coffin match. I'm sure Sting's gonna, I don't know, jump off the fucking scaffolding
top of the Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, he's gonna do something nuts.
Yeah, I liked when he's like, well, I got friends too, because we all were waiting for Sting for a while, so yeah. I'm okay with that. And you know what? You're right. Like AR Fox, it's not because you're AR Fox. You're pretty good actually since stepping up in this role.
He's great, and I'm glad he's here.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just like, why are we getting this match announced before like Jericho, Kenny, you know, all these other people? So
yeah. What else was on aside from the main event?
Yeah, Collision. We had Hobbs. He decided TV is Roger Miro lays him out, and that's announced for something. It's not announced for anything actually, but I'm imagining
he wanted it for All Out. He called him for All Out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's cool. Like I think Hobbs Miro, that's, you know,
big lads
wrestling. I'm kind of for that. And I think that does sound like an All Out match.
Yeah,
you know,
I think that could be pretty good. Like, I like both these guys wrestling. It's weird that they tried to go, actually, look, I'm going back to the Book of Hobbs, and then Aaron Solo and Nick Camarado come out to help him.
I didn't completely take that as Hobbs being with them. I felt that was them like still trying to be part of Hobbs, because you know, like last week QT was like offering his services, and Hobbs was like, I'm good. So
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I was under the assumption that they're still together. Okay. He was trying to trick everyone saying he's not, and then it's like, nah, I still am. But QT wasn't there because he was busy beating Penta to become your new Latin American AAA champion.
Has he beaten him twice now?
He's beaten him like twice, 3 times. Yeah, so
yeah,
now
he deserves it.
He's a champion. He finished the story.
He did before Cody.
Yeah, Latin American AAA champion.
And then we had the main event, the House of Black versus CMFTR for the AEW Trios Championship.
This was pretty cool. We've done a lot of podcasts covering old wrestling events, and Greensboro Coliseum is always talked about as iconic wrestling venue of some old school stuff. So it was cool having JR and Ian Riccaboni kind of nerding out. It kind of got awkward once in a while, so they kept asking him like, well, we don't know why you're here, JR, so let's just talk about things you do know, and that's older wrestling.
Yeah.
JR couldn't probably tell you what he had for breakfast, but he'll always remember NWA, WCW shit.
Didn't JR say the other week that he's taking a break?
Yeah, and then he showed up.
He sucks now.
And then he showed up.
And then he's shown up like twice.
So, I like this match, though, the 6-man tag. I don't understand. We joke all the time. Champions just don't know how to be booked. Oh, you're tag champions? You should go for the trios tag titles.
Oh, you're trios champions? Better put you in singles feuds.
Yeah. It's just so stupid. But finally got the moment everyone's been waiting for. The 2 guys that sit down in the ring sat down, stared at each other, and went, hey, this is pretty cool. Which I think you could have done in a singles match, like all these time in a huge stadium or something. Could have been pretty cool. The match was pretty good, though.
This shows like Collision isn't Rampage. You know, they are putting TK. No, they don't book this match on Rampage. Like, he's trying to put big matches every single week.
But it's just one, though.
Sorry?
Like, it's just the one big match. Everything else was jobbers, like dudes I'd never even seen before.
It's more than...
Like, who did Hobbs beat?
No, well, like, look, he's...
Andrew Everett.
You've got this new, like... You've got this show with basically a separate cast, mainly.
Yeah.
You're building Ricky Starks in a talking segment. You're building, like, the Joe thing was a squash to set up the thing with Punk.
Yeah.
And this is a big match that people want to see. It's CMFTR going for the Trios Championships. You don't get that on Rampage. Like, each week of this show, he's put on a big main event that people will want to tune in to see. It's just, again, weird timing. Like, this is a match that you could do say FTR dropped the titles to the Bucks at All In.
Yeah.
This is a big match you could do at
and we would have believed that there would have been a title change, but we just knew
Except
that.
you're not going in, like, FTR aren't going in as double champion. Well, same with Punk. It's like, you don't buy it.
No,
happen.
That's not a real title.
Yeah. So you don't buy the change. So it just was weird timing, and this feels a big match that you don't drop with a week's notice. But
yeah,
I guess it is clear that TK is putting stuff behind this show, I think.
It does feel different, but like to me when I watch it, it feels like it feels more WWE than AEW does. But it feels like every time I watch it, it's got the same people in the same matches. Finally, the Bullet Club guys weren't wrestling, not knocking the wrestling, because they put on some really good wrestling. They actually had a little funny segment which had me killing laughing. So it's actually the Guns versus the Bucks on Dynamite, which is pretty good, setting up the Bucks another tag win under the belt. But yeah, I really enjoyed the main event. I was a little confused at why it was happening now. Like, again, I think you're right. If you build this in a few months for a pay-per-view, trios, titles, people would go nuts to see these six go at it. They delivered. The match was great.
And maybe that's part of this, finish with Joe interfering, taking out Punk. It kind of builds that match, and you can always go back to this match.
Yeah.
With, like, well, we got screwed out the first time. But, again, going back, you only get one chance to do it the first time.
So, speaking of, we're getting Joe versus Punk at All In at Wembley Stadium. If you told me that 2 months ago, I would have went, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Instead, I got to watch it for free on TV from Regina. And to be honest, I don't think I'll ever watch that match again. So, why now all of a sudden they're just pretending that match didn't happen a month ago in this tournament, and instead we're doing it bigger and better, hopefully, on the bigger stage? Just a little weird.
I'm trying to remember.
Buy this pay-per-view because it's got these matches we already showed you for free. And
the trilogy, isn't it? 2 time limit draws and 1 Joe win.
So Punk finally beat Joe in Regina.
This is essentially a rubber match, no?
Kind of. Like, Joe's always beaten him, right?
No? I think Joe beat him once, and then they drew twice. Time limit draw twice, I think. And then Punk won the one in Regina.
Okay.
There was definitely a time limit draw in there. I think, yeah. Punk never had beaten him until recently, but...
So, like, you couldn't have had that moment for this show? Where finally beat him?
I completely don't get why...
So, like, again, I want to dissect this a bit, because I feel like we're really shitting on AEW today, but they deserve it. So, because I love them, too. But I'll give two sides of a coin here. Samoa Joe... been wrestling for so long. How many, like, he is a legend. He will be a Hall of Famer in whatever Hall of Fames there are of wrestling. He is great. His only WrestleMania match was a 52-second match against Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
We were there. I was pretty bummed. Didn't get to see Joe have a Mania match against Joe. It was kind of a squash. I think Rey was hurt. This is Joe's stadium match. Joe has never got it. He won't be wearing a poncho. Hopefully, we won't be wearing ponchos. This is his first ever, like, huge stadium show, considering this guy's been in wrestling for so long. He's commentated at a stadium show, but never wrestled properly. That 50-second match, that sucks. So, yeah. So I get that this guy deserves this huge spot. Fuck, who should we put him against? Why not Punk? Cool. So why did you do it last month on TV in Yukon or whatever the fuck for free, when, like, now you want me to care about it again? So I'm just like, there's so many things I'm just angry about. The little things.
Yeah, 2 time limit draws, 1 win for
This
Joe,
is the rubber. Gee, I wonder who's winning. Is it for the Ring of Honor time limit? What is the title he's got?
The real AEW championship.
No. Which one does Joe have?
Oh, TV title.
So Punk didn't cut a promo saying, I've always wanted to become the Ring of Honor TV champion, and I'm going to do it at Wembley. No, instead, after Collision went off the air, Punk cut a promo on Hangman Page saying he doesn't move merch or figures or ratings.
Yeah. Like, I do think Punk Joe is a big match. I'm still excited for it. I agree. I don't think you needed to do that
No.
Owen Cup match. It does take the luster out of this one a little bit. But it also, this does feel like I think it feels like a stadium worthy match. If you're not doing Punk against, the proper main eventers in this company that he doesn't like, Joe's as good as anyone. You know, I'd take a Joe match over a Jay White match or a Ricky Starks match.
Me too.
Which are the only two other people he seems to want to wrestle
Exactly.
in a singles capacity at this point. So yeah, but again, just grow up and like, yeah. So what's with this shoot?
I don't know, man. I came home from work and I was like, oh, you know what? Wrestling on a Saturday does fit in your schedule sometimes. I chilled out. I accidentally ate your burgers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then I went out after. And then when I'm out, I'm going on Twitter. I'm like, Punk cut a promo on Hangman. No, he didn't. And then I'm reading, no, it was after the show fucking went off the air. That's some cowardice shit if I've heard it. So is this not promoting a match for something? Like the guy's just dissing Hangman?
If it is,
then
cool. If not, what's the point? And he talks about coward shit. Oh, I'm gonna cut a promo on a guy who's not even fucking here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna wait until the cameras are off. Like, pathetic.
Like, you know, someone
pathetic.
know someone's gonna record this and talk about, and like, you know, this is gonna make rounds. It's not like
what
no
a
one has
fucking lame line. You know why they call it Hangman? Because his merch is always hanging up in the shops because he doesn't move merch. Cool. Good one.
Sorry,
he chipped your tooth, did he? Fucking loser.
Sorry, you were hanging out in the toy aisle the other day? Yeah. With your real world championship?
Yeah.
Fucking
you're
loser,
a fucking
dude.
Dork. Like,
fuck, man.
You're calling a guy out. You're scared. You said that you were scared for your life in a match against the anxious millennial cowboy. One of the
guy who wears butterflies on his pants.
Butterflies on his pants. Seemingly an ex-teacher. Seemingly one of the nicest guys in this company. Oh, but he hurt me. He chipped my tooth. Okay, cool. Oh, but I sell more toys than him. Cool. Grow up.
Like, look,
fucking put your differences aside.
Yeah.
Make some money.
He then like
fight each
I don't
other.
know, I'm sure you've watched it. If you're listening to this, you probably watched the clip of it. It's all because someone had a sign in front of him, and that's what like tipped him off to do this. And then he fucks up his like line at the end of the promo because he's like, "I'm gonna hit you with a GTS." Ah, fuck. He just kind of like goes off the rails.
If I was Hangman, I'd just start going secretly to Collision every week, just waiting. Is he gonna cut something? I'm coming out. Yeah. Sorry, what'd you just say, buddy?
Yeah, Hangman's probably watched Punk's UFC fights before and knows he can take it.
And like you listen to the crowd here as well.
They go like,
that was
weird.
And then he's like, no, I know there's some fans, and they're just like,
yeah,
boo,
yeah,
like shut up.
We're here to see you and celebrate. That's
okay.
weird.
In Chicago, yeah, nowhere else. I don't think this crowd were not behind, and you're also in.
And we're nitpicking here, but this guy was in WWE for like fucking 10 years. Yeah, of course people know who you are.
Yeah.
You're CM Punk. You never shut the fuck up.
Don't watch AEW, will see your toy and buy it.
Yeah. However, you're saying Hangman doesn't pop ratings? Bro, what was the rating last week? Ricky Starks versus CM Punk with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. What was the fucking rating on that? Fucking abysmal. Moves ratings. Bro, neither do you. We found out. You're a liar. You're not what we say you are. You're not Hogan in the NWO. Your ratings are terrible. So
he's Hogan fucking Bash at the Beach.
Like, that's how I'm finding this out. This guy's saying this guy doesn't pop a rating like I do. No, you don't.
For someone who like so much of his career and his character was, you know, anti-authority,
establishment, the man, fuck the man. You
like,
become that, bro.
Anti-politics, anti the likes of the, you know, your Kevin Nashes, your Hogans, anti all that. That's what he's doing, and just like fucking cheap shots when the guy isn't even there.
Yeah, really bizarre. Just found that so strange. I had a great time watching that match, and then I watched that promo. I was like, "You're making me so sour on you again."
And
like,
the whole time, Hangman's like said nothing.
Yeah,
he like just. It's like, oh, that guy's going on about me again.
I know he's not on social media anymore. He deleted his socials, but like, what would you say? Like, I don't know. The drama's behind all this. If it's not leading to a match, then like, why would Punk say these things?
Whether this is just Punk, like, is it like the elite side that don't want to face him, and therefore Punk's just prodding the bear? He's like, no, I want that match. I want to make money. Maybe that's it, and maybe that's why he's doing this shit. It's bizarre.
Yeah, super strange. I can't for the life of me, as a fan of all these guys, and wrestling is just like, why would this one guy seem like he cannot get over something like so badly? Like, wow. Just
So we love AEW and we can't wait to go.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't like. We're still excited. It's still going to be a super fun day because we've had a bunch of Sesame Daddies before going.
So I still have this ticket available for anyone out there. I'll hang out at Trinity Bar all day and watch. No, I'm still really excited, but definitely scratching my head at some of the things going on. And it looks like politics and wrestling are something that go hand in hand all these years later. But you're right. For the guy who says he doesn't care about that kind of shit, seems like you care about talking about other people a lot. A lot. And
it was, sorry, that like that promo from Hangman was like 14 months ago, no?
yeah, people don't forget.
Like maybe longer. No, it was before. It was billed to Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing was in May. So yeah, like
It's been over a year.
You're talking 14, 15 months since Hangman cut that promo, and you're still fucking upset about it. You gave him his receipt once on TV, and then you did a presser.
Yeah.
And like Hangman's not said shit about you, and you're still going on.
Yeah. Rent's expensive.
Weak. What is it? Weak body and weak.
Fragile mind.
Fragile mind.
Fragile egos.
Yeah.
Hangman, dumb fucking Page, whatever. Hangman just seems like the nicest guy. Like, fuck, man. If it was someone else, you would be like, oh, Punk's probably right. But like, no.
You always, you know, like you work. Like I work with some people, and you always have that friend who doesn't say like a bad word against anyone.
Yeah.
And then you get maybe a new staff member come in, and this person starts talking shit about them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that person needs to go
Yeah.
because
Clearly,
if like that person doesn't like him, or if that person doesn't like
Yeah.
this nice person, they're the problem.
but the person who talks shit about everyone, you're never gonna listen. Why? You shit on everyone. You hate this person. You hate this person. Like, fuck. Who do you like? Why are you here? Because you can't get out of this contract now, and you got to show up.
Yeah.
So weird.
Awful.
So are we ever getting that match? And you know,
No
Punk
idea.
is gonna go. I pin you. I have to beat you.
win.
Yeah, that's why they're not.
I
agreeing.
pin you with the buckshot lariat.
Yeah, I'll mess it up on purpose.
Yeah.
And pin you with it. And they're like, no, absolutely not. So maybe that's why these people don't want to wrestle.
Well, especially now, all of the elite have signed contracts, right? They're there for
They're
another
here.
3 years? Is it 3, 5?
Yeah, but Punk won't
3.
be after like 2.
No.
So they'll be fine.
Yeah.
They'll be back to being the stars again when he's gone,
Yeah.
because he's definitely not
Well,
sticking
they're
around.
the stars on the main show.
I guess. Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
In a 6-man match at the stadium.
We hate everything.
Well, let's go over to the G1 climax. It finally climaxed. It came to an end.
It climaxed.
You had Naito beating Okada in the finals. This was the bit of a different format this year. We had 4 blocks with quarters, semis, and finals. And I think finally in those last couple of days, you got those real, like, proper G1 matches. And I might have thrown out a Daniel Craig for a couple of these.
Nice. Yeah, you know what? I kind of feel the same way. I cherry picked a lot of this G1. I only watched certain matches I kind of had interest in, so I skipped a lot. But the ones I checked out, I really liked. My only gripe was again, kind of two-headed thing here. I liked that the time limit, because there's so many matches that did not need to go like 30 minutes. But then it made everyone like act like they're in these like G1 epics in like round 1, round 2, and these matches are 15 minutes long. So it kind of got a little
20, but
it kind of got a little like not as special and important. And then sometimes when I watch like a match and they're like, okay, the 20 minutes is almost up, I'm like, well, why? Because these guys should wrestle for like a bit more. It's just getting to the good stuff. I finally got that in like the semifinals matches where they gave them the full limit, that they got to like the levels that they got to. Like Naito and Ospreay was just phenomenal. And Naito is really the Mr. G1. He's just had so many classic G1 matches. And the rest of the year, he just doesn't give a fuck. Apparently. Like, oh man. But like, yeah, really loved that match. Really loved Naito Okada. Those two always have really good I don't know.
That, sorry, what was it? It was the oh no, was it the Stormbreaker into the Destino in the Ospreay match was
Yeah.
like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Some of the stuff in that match was just insane. So Naito definitely picking it up for this tournament.
I kind of liked and didn't like the 20 minutes. I think I liked it because it made the tournament a bit more exciting. You could get more draws come out of nowhere, and it means, like, I always remember that, Omega Okada G1 match, and it's like, well, if no one won in 60 minutes, how is someone going to win in 30? But you see people change their style. It's kind of like, the last few minutes of a football game where you pull out the keeper or whatever, because you put everyone in defense or whatever, because you're just going for that last goal. Or it kind of has that sort of thing where you're opening yourself up a bit more by dropping your defense to go on the attack, which I like, but it does give a ceiling of 4 stars for me. You can't really get above that in these 20
You can't get into the
matches.
next gear of
you can't get
action.
Into that next gear, which we used to in previous years. But I thought, some of these, if you've been listening to me for a while, I'm not a massive Naito fan, but I thought he really came through in this tournament. The match against Tanahashi that I reviewed with Karen, I thought was excellent. And, Tana has had a rough year. He's been looking rough, but he looked like Tana from 3 years ago in that match. And I thought they had a really, really good match. I mean, in the D block finals,
Naito beating Tana, Ospreay, and Okada. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that Ospreay match was match of the tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah,
the Okada match, not far behind.
Yeah.
The Okada match was really good too.
I agree.
I think Zack Sabre Jr. had a really good tournament. Again, Zack's match against Naito was really, really good. And yeah, so it's what I predicted on the post-tournament thing. I guess we're getting Naito Sonata, which doesn't really do it for me, but there are a lot of LIJ and Naito fans in Japan who I think will dig that match. And as long as the undercard is good, do we get... I felt we were going to get Okada Kiyomiya, but Kiyomiya kind of just fizzled out in this tournament, so I don't know if that's going to be a thing. I assume Ospreay Omega 3 will be Tokyo Dome.
Yeah.
Which is a great number 2. But yeah, this tournament did feel long. I tried my best to keep up. I definitely faded towards the end, but there's definitely some good stuff to watch in there, and I do recommend, looking at the post wrestling recommendations, because there's some great stuff in there.
Yeah, you got to cherry pick. There's too much of it. On top of all the other wrestling going on, there's so much.
It's when you're 3-4 weeks in and I've got another Mikey Nichols match.
Yeah, I'm not watching.
Sorry, but no disrespect. Well, yeah, I'm disrespecting him, but it's.
I like to disrespect Evil.
Yeah,
because we were talking today, prepping for the show, and you're like, "Oh, I'm watching the Evil match," and I'm like, "I don't know if I could watch another one. I genuinely don't know if I could do it."
It's frustrating because he's not a terrible wrestler.
Right.
The guy can wrestle, and I think LIJ iteration, he's never been one of my favorites, but he'd have some good matches and go, "Oh wow, that was a pretty good match." But all the House of Torch stuff, it's so lazy. I saw, I think, 4 F bumps in the match with Okada in the semi, and it's just
I'm talking about Evil. My brain just said you need to yawn right now.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Everything is Evil. Yeah, but he got still a higher match rating than Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. So
yeah, but no, I definitely recommend those. The Naito Ospreay, the Naito Okada, excellent stuff.
Yeah, so I think they did a good job of proving that Naito's their white knight right now. Beating the 3 top guys in New Japan in a row is a big deal, I'd say. And I still think they helped get over some of the newer guys, like the 3 Musketeers, certain people that you don't necessarily see a lot of shine. Eddie Kingston just living his dream, getting to fight in the G1, and Meet Kawada, he's just living it up over in Japan. I'm sure he's sad that it's got to come to a low. But what's his all-in match? Are we getting that announcement? It's got to be Shingo or something.
No
right?
idea.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been shooting his own angles.
Yeah, because AEW won't. So.
But yeah, it's I mean, he's basically said he wants Evil and Ishii. Sorry, he wants Shingo and Ishii.
Yeah.
So you could do one match at All In, one match at All Out. We know both Shingo and Ishii are in town.
Yeah,
they're in the Rev Pro.
Yeah.
Show the day before. But will it be booked? I don't know.
But yeah, fun G1, definitely worth cherry picking some of the stuff through there because there's some great wrestling, but definitely picked up towards the semifinals and the finals.
Let's move over to a company who do know how to book stories and properly book.
Oh God!
Go over to WWE. I did catch a bit of SmackDown this morning.
Jey Deuces.
Well, we'll start with WWE's actually coming to Toronto next week.
Yes.
While we're away. And they kind of advertised this a year ago when we took Dad John Pollock took us to Raw, raspberry martinis and sunglasses inside, and Edge cut a promo at the end, kind of hinting at retiring
in Toronto
next year. Next year being this year, kind of pulled that back. And they're now doing a 25th anniversary thing, and Edge came out and called out Sheamus, and this was a pretty cool segment. I don't know if you got to see it or not.
No, I didn't.
Edge said basically that he was doing a lot of, before he came back to wrestling, Sheamus's Celtic Warrior workouts, and they were hanging out a lot.
Okay.
And that they met in Dublin in like 2004, and kind of Edge inspired Sheamus to get into wrestling and kind of pushed him to do it.
Holy shit.
They shared a pint of Guinness in Dublin, and then years later, Sheamus is doing these workouts, and they're going bike riding, like mountain biking,
nice,
in North Carolina. And Edge is saying about how he thought it'd be hilarious because Sheamus is huge and would look ridiculous on this bike and doesn't really know how to do it, but it's Edge who eats shit. And they play the video of him mountain biking and eating shit and taking this tumble and getting up, and he's got like bruising and cuts down his arms, and then he's like, that wasn't too bad. Like, if I can take a bump like that, why can't I wrestle? And Sheamus is like, well, look into it. And he looked into it, and then obviously we know he came back, and he's been wrestling ever since.
So Sheamus definitely came out and said, I'm going to bruise you worse than the...
Yeah, so Edge was like, we've never, ever had a match, and I'm thankful for you to bringing me back into wrestling.
Yeah.
It's my 25th anniversary. Let's do it, and let's beat the shit out of each other.
They've never wrestled.
No.
I think they wrestled in a 4-way.
Possibly.
Yeah, never
or
in a
tags or something.
Yeah, never in a singles.
Not one-on-one.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really cool segment, and I love the use of the footage they had, and I think Sheamus has earned so much respect from fans in the last 2 years. Brawling Brutes are over. It's going to be Edge in Toronto. I think this is going to be really fun.
Yeah.
And a fun main event, and obviously if it was a different timing, like, it would be something I'd be pretty pumped to see.
Oh, I'd absolutely be going if we were here. As a huge Edge fan, definitely bummed. I've seen Edge at the ACC one too many times, so it's okay. I've definitely had my fair share of paying money to go see him.
And also knowing he's not retiring, I think if it was his retirement,
oh man, like, I'm only gonna feel okay about it after. I need to know, because I have a feeling with all this shit, he could just be like, actually, yeah, I'm done. So it'd be like, oh man, like the guy that got me back into wrestling retired me.
It's funny, he mentions Toronto and there's booze, and he's like, come on, guy, you can't, because they're in where were they?
Calgary.
Yeah. He's like, come on, guy, you can't boo Toronto when I'm here, please.
Yeah.
They're like, boo. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty enjoyable segment, and looking, we'll try and catch that match. That's Friday night, so can watch that Saturday morning with breakfast.
Nice.
Maybe.
All right. Yeah. That'll be weird, watching SmackDown in London from Toronto.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Whilst the night after we've seen the weekend
from Toronto in London.
In London.
Yeah, that's really weird.
We don't plan things out well.
Neither does Tony Khan. It's okay.
No. And then we had the Why Jimmy Why segment.
Yeah, more of Days of Our Lives here, with Jey Uso being like, my brother got involved in a match that was specifically, the rules were no one is allowed to get involved.
Yeah.
So I'm done. I'm out.
So it starts with Jimmy and Roman's like, Jimmy, I owe ya. And like, what do you want? A new car? I'll buy you a yacht, whatever. And Jimmy is still out of the bloodline. He's like, I don't want shit from you. Jey comes out to confront, and Jimmy basically tells Jey that he did it because he didn't want Jey to become an egotistical asshole like Roman. He's like, if you won that match, you'd be tribal chief, and then you'd be the same deluded prick that our cousin is.
Wow.
So I saved you from that. kind of weird logic. Ends with Jimmy super kicking Roman to prove he's still not in the bloodline, but then Jey super kicking Jimmy and then saying, I'm done with the bloodline, I'm done with SmackDown, I'm done with WWE, and throws up the deuces.
Deuces Penitentiary. Yeah, so they put him in the alumni thing on their website.
Amazing.
Wrestling fans are fast to find shit out like that. So we getting main event Jey, what's his real name? Fatu? No, that's main event Jey in AEW.
Yeah, I don't know what
Book him for All In. There's still time.
They should. I mean, we've already set, like, when the the Punk thing happened after Money in the Bank, he should have been working indie shows.
Yeah,
and things. I know
he's showing up.
He did a couple of like Comic-Con kind of things, but Jey Uso should be. Is he John? Is he John Fatu, or is that?
Yeah, I can't remember.
He should be whatever that is, just doing, like
GCW
Defy and stuff like that.
Yeah, just show up places. Yeah, I've just been so over the bloodline stuff. Like, I love the Usos and the stuff they've done this year, but like, I just don't care anymore. I think week by week, I'm slowly realizing, was the bloodline story the best storyline in wrestling in modern day? Or is Sami Zayn just that damn good at thinking that the bloodline was that good of a storyline? Because I just haven't liked it at all. It's the same fucking shit. And now you're just Russo booking it, even just swerve for a swerve. And he kicks Roman and then he kicks him. It's like, man, and this is all not going to happen now. This is like for stuff later on.
So yeah, Jey will take a break to then do a big return to set up this match.
And then to make things even weirder is Rikishi tweets out like, hey, I'm going to be doing this wrestling event because I'm going to be the ref at Payback. Great. Thanks for letting us know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Thanks for announcing it. And then he quickly deletes it like, oh, it was a mistake by the booker. No, bro, it was a mistake by you and your management. So possibly.
So what, Rikishi, the ref for
I don't know.
Jimmy versus Jey?
Couldn't. I think that's too soon. But...
You could maybe do a Jimmy Roman match now, but that's a weird dynamic because people are gonna boo both of them.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I'm growing tired of it now. I like everyone involved, and I do think there's been some really good stuff in these 3 years of this story. We're only bottom of the third right now.
Yeah, Heyman talking out his ass for sure.
So that means we got 6 more years to go.
6 more years of the bloodline. Finish the story, Cody, please.
But yeah, I'm kind of losing interest a bit. It's always weird when you do these brother versus brother feuds as well, because they never really work. Like, I think back to Jeff and Matt matches, they've never really hit particularly, and then you end up just putting them back together anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting if he said leaving WWE, but I'm like, go
NXT.
Go NXT. Go face Dom.
Just let him chill. Let the man go on vacation.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Moxley's like, for fuck's sake.
Mox is on like every week, just bleeding away.
I want a vacation. Kate, can you just stay for like another month or so? We'll make you champ, and then you'll lose to Punk, and you can go on your vacation. Okay, cool. And then doesn't ever.
So, also on SmackDown, we had Rey Mysterio winning the US Championship.
Yeah.
So now both Mysterios representing North America. Rey just representing the States, whereas, Dom represents Mexico, represents us in Canada,
what a deadbeat.
And the States. So Dom's still a little above his father, his deadbeat dad.
Kids these days are more woke than their parents.
Where is this? Are we getting a title v title match down the line?
I think they had to make some changes. I'm assuming it was Santos, and I think an injury is what caused him to not be the one to win the title.
They did a beatdown angle with him, right?
Yeah, I have a feeling that was the way it was supposed to. I could be wrong, but like, I can't see them going, nah, let's just do it on Rey, because that would just be a little backwards. So I think that was their plan B.
You can always do the Santos turn as well. Like, Santos has been a pretty good heel in the past.
He's a way better heel, yeah.
But LWO is so over right now, so I don't think that's anytime soon. But you can have Rey, elevate this title a bit, have a decent run with it, and then if it's Santos v Rey, that's something you could do, like Survivor Series time or something like that.
Yeah. Ray versus Dom.
But I do see
unifying.
Ray and Dom happening. Yeah, I could see that happening.
All these NXT titles get unified and deleted, so that could happen. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the North American title makes sense to have on NXT, though, so I don't know if
It's been a good title there, I think. But
Rey Mysterio versus Dom for both, and then Ray defends both.
But it's good it's off Austin Theory now. And
best sentence you said all day.
Right? Like
it's true.
It's gonna, like, Gunther's done great stuff with the IC title. I saw maybe LA Knight beating Austin Theory for this thing, but I kind of feel LA Knight's a bit above that, and I think they're treating him really well. I really enjoyed his promo segment with The Miz this week.
Yeah.
I think, and like the crowd are so behind him, and I think it's like a blessing. I know we shouldn't wish ill on people, but it's a blessing that Vince has had this surgery and is kind of suffering right now, because I think it's been kind of clear. Like, you look at Raw and people that they've started focusing on a little bit. They seem like some of Papa Paul's project.
Yeah.
And I think LA Knight could have a good shot at being a big feature. And I think winning a title of Austin Theory doesn't really matter or mean anything at this point.
I think they still could have give him something that like elevates, like winning a title for the first time in WWE would be pretty cool for him.
Yeah.
But like, because I don't see him being world champion this year, and like that's not a knock to him because I think he's fucking so over. Do you see the video that was on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram? This woman explaining that her husband has the LA Knight syndrome, and then like she's like, I don't know, we went to a wrestling event and all he keeps doing is this, and then like films him. She'll be like, hey honey, like, is dinner almost ready? And yeah. And she's like, this is the worst shit ever. So like, screw you, whoever you are, LA Knight. Were we not discussing how my girlfriend felt last week? She's like, Jesus Christ. So he's so over. I love this character. I'm confused at why Ray won the title, but it'll make things a bit more interesting because it needed to be off Austin Theory. Yeah. So that's the better
100%.
move. Yeah.
Especially now you got Grayson Waller there. Like, do we need an Austin Theory?
I don't think we do. I don't think the people want Austin Theory. I think they realize they wasted that Cena's spot on him.
I mean, but I think like Seth's title is something LA Knight could feasibly win at some point.
Yeah, true.
We also had we're setting up Nakamura versus Seth. So turn Nakamura heel apparently, and setting up for a match with Rollins.
Right.
Which I don't know. Like, we see Nakamura motivated once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
I'd like his matches with Seth always on paper sound like they'll be good and have never really hit.
Never.
But we'll see. Like, motivation. It's the first time he's been in the world title picture for a long time. So
sure. Yeah.
Could be. It's fresh. I think we've done Seth and the Judgment Day a bit too much now at this point, and he needed someone new. So Nakamura's a stopgap.
Is this a pay-per-view match?
So what is Payback the next thing?
Yeah.
And how many weeks away?
September something.
Yeah, could be. I guess so.
Maybe he'll bring out Lil Uzi to bring out Nakamura.
Sure.
Or is that for Mania?
Sure. I mean, last time he turned heel, they added the rap so people can't sing, didn't they?
Right.
Yeah, their next stadium show, whenever that is. Anything else from WWE this week?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that's kind of all of it. They're doing really well. I don't necessarily watch Raw and SmackDown every week. I really don't. But I do still kind of see what's going on because I'm really into a lot of the fresh faces and characters. Like, for once, WWE's like kind of getting those things over, which they weren't doing before. So someone like Io Shirai becoming champion instantly like has my attention of like, okay, well, let's see what they can do with this and matches they can book. And I'm hoping her payback match is something pretty cool. I'm sure it will be. LA Knight, like, you just cannot avoid this like star the way things work in wrestling sometimes, in media and entertainment, is just sometimes things pick up and become hot, and that's just kind of how it was and is going right now. And there's a lot of like the bloodline stuff, as much as we're saying we're kind of over it, it's still huge, and people still want to tune in to watch it. So I'm always happy that WWE's like popular, because it just makes wrestling like more popular and people getting into it and talking about it, and it's awesome. It's great. I still am like not checking out the weekly stuff, but I'm still like so over the like I'm loving their PLEs and their pay-per-views. So they're really like connecting as well, and the views don't lie there. When you hear someone talk about CM Punk, like, he doesn't pop a rain, it's like, no, brother, like these guys do. When they announce the Bloodline's gonna have another fucking half an hour segment, people tune in to watch it.
I think Elektra Lopez must be helping them because business is up 18%.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's business is up on all levels. Business.
Yeah. So then that's like all the wrestling kind of going on. There was a Triple Mania last night. Triple Mania 77 2023. I feel like every week they just do a Triple Mania now, so whatever. But yeah, I mentioned QT won a title off Penta, I think, and then I'm hoping Vikingo isn't actually injured, and maybe it's just part of some sort of storyline there. But yeah, there's just so much wrestling going on, no matter where you are, like New Japan, Triple Mania in Mexico, AEW, WWE. It's just everywhere is wrestling. So including indie shows in wherever you may be in the world. Like there's indie shows that are just popping off. Like we said, Rev Pro doing that Copper Box show over here in Toronto. Demand Lucha. I'm sad we're missing SmackDown. I'm more sad we're missing Demand Lucha versus House of Glory.
I know, yeah.
Oh man, this one's gonna be awesome. If you're in the Toronto area, you got to go to this because we cannot, and we trust me, we want to. And this has like they're bringing in like Alex Shelley, Black Taurus, and there's some crazy matches on this one. So we would definitely be at that one. I think our boy Gringo is on that show as well, but just so many. So I think that's the 24th of August. So if you're in the Toronto area, definitely go to that show and say hello to the people of Demand for us, because those guys absolutely kill it every single time. So
always a fun time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're going to be back on Tuesday on the Post Wrestling feed for our last Up Next together for a few weeks as we pass the torch over to B and Cino while we're in Europe. This week we have Dana Brooke versus Blair Davenport, Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stax Lorenzo defending the tag titles against the Dyad, and we have Wesley versus Dijak in a number one contenders match for the NXT Championship.
That should be pretty good. NXT's been cooking, especially.
They delivered at that last show earlier in the
those two,
February.
So this rematch should even be a step up. So NXT's been delivering with the wrestling and been absolutely killing Collision in the ratings too. So you got to watch NXT.
NXT's been pretty good recently, yeah.
So lots and lots of wrestling. We're going to be back Tuesday, like you said. And then after that, for the next few weeks, we will be taking a little bit of a break. But See No Evil and B Detroit will be filling in for Up Next, covering NXT week by week. And I'm sure talking a little bit about everything else going on in wrestling. So check those guys out for us. I know they're going to be dropping a What Up Doe on this very feed in the next little while. So look for that as well. So lots and lots of podcasts. Poisonrana.ca for the landing page of all the stuff we do, including our stuff, our drink menus on our socials for the All In It, all the other podcasts that we do. Patreon.com/Poisonrana. For only $5, you get access to hundreds of podcasts that we do. So go support your small content creators and buy us a beer for our trip to Wembley.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be expensive.
Yes.
So thank you guys at Poisonrana Pod, Twitter, Instagram. I myself, Twitter, Instagram, at the Brady.
And I am at Davie Portman.
That's it. That's all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And shout out to the peg warmer Hangman Adam Page.
Ahoy!
Poisonrana.